Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for this is part 2 for 2023. We're going to look at your 5th house in this first row. Your 5th house represents like romance, creativity, play, children, good fortune, self-expression, things like that. You have this bad health in this journey card. Again, I'm just using the Kipper here, and it is a little bit negative, so I wouldn't worry too much about that bad health card. We're going to look at it, and also the 6th house here has to do with health, so we will be looking at what comes up as far as your health is concerned, and it looks fine to me. So I wouldn't really worry about that. I'm wondering if, again, for some of you, I'm wondering if it's like a family member that has had health issues that you could be like traveling to see this person or something like that. I would also say, like, I would protect your mental health at this time. Like, if you have someone who drives you nuts or, someone who causes problems in your life, I feel like you need to kind of like protect your brain from those types of people this whole entire year, I feel that, just in general, I do feel like we're in a time just in general where we really need to protect our brain, like our brain space from, toxic energy, bad people, things like that. So I would make sure to do that. Some of you, I feel actually intuitively, now that I'm touching these cards, I feel you could be going through healing right now. And so you could have left something behind in 2022, or you are leaving something behind. For some of you, I feel like it's just like a weird small problem, which is popping into my head. Again, I am not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice. But if you have like something that popped up in 2022, and maybe the doctors can't figure it out, I don't know, that's for someone, I feel like it could be clearing up, or maybe you're at least, at the very least, you could be discovering an answer to your problem. Because if we go like this, we have Ace of Wands, Knight of Swords to the King of Swords. King of Swords, number one, this would represent getting a second opinion. So maybe you're just dealing with a doctor who has no clue what they're doing. But also, King of Swords represents someone who actually knows what they're talking about. To me, he's my card of an expert and someone who actually knows what they're doing. In this row, you have the Ace of Wands, Nine of Wands, and the Temperance card. Ace of Wands is a very creative card. Again, 5th house is the house of creativity. So you see here that there's a castle that's crumbling right above my finger. So the Ace of Wands is about, kind of creating something new or focusing on your creative energies. I would also like focus on your inspirations as well. Ace of Wands can kind of represent the spark of life, or kind of represents like a spark of hope, just that one thing we need sometimes to get moving. And that's what I would focus on here, is kind of like inspiration and new beginnings for sure. You have the Nine of Wands here. Nine of Wands can represent boundaries, the wounded warrior. But I feel like this is talking about opening up, number one. Number two, I feel that this is talking about experimentation. Again, this is the house of creativity. And Nine of Wands is my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So I feel like for some of you, you need to experiment more. I feel like some of you, if you're like working on a project or a business, it's like, I feel like you've tried a lot. I'm not going to discount the amount of work that you've done, right? I feel like you've done a lot of work on things. Even if you're trying to get a career, maybe you're trying to improve in your career or whatever. I feel like you've done a lot. I feel like you're getting to this stage where you're tired, But I feel like this is saying you're about to have a breakthrough this year. You have the Ace of Swords, which is like a breakthrough. And I feel like you need to realize that you're about to have a breakthrough. So don't give up now before you're about to find success. You have with the Temperance card, I feel like there could be some sort of turnaround, again, coming into your life. Temperance is about turning one thing into another. Again, an energy of creativity, because sometimes we have to be creative. I'm also getting that mixing two things together would be very successful for you. Gemini, I feel like Geminis are really, really good at putting two things together. I mean, I'm a Gemini moon, right? And I like mixing a lot of stuff together, so it wouldn't surprise me if some of you were like coming up with ideas of kind of mixing two ideas together, and that could lead to a very successful idea, especially in work or business. For a lot of you, I feel there could be a lot of success in doing that. So let's see here. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Idealism card. I do feel like you could be attracting like an ideal partner, actually. This is the house of romance as well. Pretty much all 4 of these houses are kind of somewhat romance houses. This part of the sky, right? But what I would say here, the sixth house is kind of not really, but kind of is at the same time. We'll talk about that in a minute. But what I will say is I feel there could be like an ideal partner coming in for you, Gemini. As I always say, I don't think anyone's perfect, but I feel that this is, and I don't think we should look for perfection either because, again, number one, it doesn't exist. And number two, if you had a perfect person, it would be boring. It would be so boring, right? We love drama. And I'm not saying that we should, I'm not saying that we should do, engage in drama, but it's like, again, if someone was perfect, then they'd probably be pretty boring. So that's what I'll say there. But I feel like you're attracting someone very unique. I feel like this person is a beast in a good way. I feel this person just like, I think something that will stand out to you is this could be like a real workhorse, could be the type of person who just works till their, face falls off, basically. Could be like a business person. I definitely feel they make time for you as well. So while they work very hard, I think they will make plenty of time for you just in general. I feel like they like to travel as well. I know that's very obvious. Everybody says they like to travel. It's like if you've ever been on Tinder, everybody's like, I like to travel. I'm like, so do the last person, right? Everybody does. With the Nine of Wands, you have the extremism card. I feel like you've experienced both extremes in romance, in relationships, like really, really, like almost too good, almost too perfect, and maybe really a bad boy, bad girl type situation all the way on the other extreme. I'm not saying that you're like coming to the middle here. I think we all have preferences, right? But there is like a little bit more balance is what I'm feeling on that Nine of Wands. And, I think that's going to be a good thing. I would definitely be careful of any extremes at this time. I mean, we have Neptune and Pisces right now. It's just going to get even worse when Neptune goes into Aries in 2025. I don't think it's going to be like that terrible, but, to me, it's like extremist viewpoints from pretty much everything. It's like we could be seeing extreme ideas in the news, good and bad, both. This is not like a good or a bad thing, but, kind of like on both sides. And it's like people could be very extreme. And so I would just be careful of that. I would try to be the voice of reason at this time. With the Temperance card, you have this concentration card. I feel like if you concentrate, you will find success. I feel like you need to concentrate on your ideas. This is literally Saturn and Gemini. I really feel you need to like work two ideas or, there's something here, especially if you're like creative, if you're thinking about starting a business or, getting a new career. It's almost like there are two ideas that are coming together here that might seem different, but maybe they're really not. So I don't know, there's something there for you. Next, in the area of your sixth house, this is the house of your daily routine, your daily habits, your health, work. You have this opposition card. It says confrontation on it. You also have this transit card that says climate on it. And so I feel like some of you need to be careful of like the environment that you're in work, in business. Some of you, I also feel this is not a bad thing. I think you could be changing your environment. You have the Fool. The Fool could be literally like moving. And you have the Knight of Swords as well, which could also be like some sort of quick change. So maybe if you're like, maybe you're not happy at work, you could be changing jobs. But the other thing I'm getting here is that maybe you have a business, maybe you're just moving, or maybe you have a job, but maybe you're moving to another state or something. I feel like you're changing the climate that you're in, like your environment, and doing that, I do feel will be extremely beneficial. I always tell a story. It's like, for the most part, I don't think it's true that, if you move, you're probably going to feel exactly the same, right? Sometimes I think people think they're going to move and there are going to be all these improvements, and it just usually doesn't happen that way. But for you, I feel like if you're like moving this year, I feel you will notice the difference. You are going to see the benefits of the move that you're making. So again, I'm saying it would be a really good time for you to do that if you want to do it. Of course, as I always say, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. People always say, does this mean I have to move? I love where I live. No, stay where you are. You'll be fine. Tarot cannot control your life. I'm just saying, for those of you that want to do it, go for it. Again, the other thing is I would avoid all confrontation at work, period. Plain and simple. We have Mars retrograde in Gemini. I would say for like the first half of the year at least, if not longer, for the whole year, I just would avoid confrontation because, Mars will be going direct but in January. But again, technically we're in the shadow till like March, whatever, or something like that. So, I just wouldn't deal with it. I just wouldn't cause any problems. You have the Fool, the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Cups here. I do feel that you could be changing your daily routine. For a lot of you, again, not only with the Fool card here, but also with this Knight of Swords. It's like you're speeding things up, and I feel like you're very prepared to do this. He has this tiny little sack on his back here, and the tiny little sack there kind of says that he's about to go through the whole major arcana, but he only has that tiny little sack. He has everything he needs right here, right between his two ears. So I feel like you are more than prepared, and I feel you're very ready to start something new at this time. You have the Knight of Swords here. I do feel like you're making a very quick decision. Normally, I do not like the Knight of Swords for quick decisions. But what I would say is just based off of everything here, I feel like if you're making like a decision, it might seem hasty. There might be people in your life who are telling you you're crazy to just like up and move in, or maybe you're, getting into a relationship too quickly or according to other people, right? And what I would say is I feel like you need to listen to yourself. I do feel, look, we go like this, right up to the Ace of Swords from this direction, right? And here's the thing as well, is that Temperance really tells me that whatever this change that you're making is, it's like you've put a lot of work into the energy of this change. Like, let's say you're changing jobs. The Temperance card would say you've probably put a lot of work in trying to, find something better. So it's like, it might seem quick to people on the outside, but to you, it really hasn't been quick. So, again, if you're making a quick decision, I feel like you'll be fine. You also have the Knight of Cups here. I do feel that if you are looking for love, you could meet a person through work. Again, the sixth house is work. It's also your daily routine. So, if you go to the same coffee shop every single day or something like that, it could be a person who is part of your daily routine. Maybe they're not literally part of it, but maybe they just happen to be wherever you are, like all the time, right? I'm not saying this person's stalking you. I think, like, if anything, you're stalking them. Is what I'd say. If anything, it's you that is kind of following this person, not calling you out here, but that's what I'll say there, Gemini. So definitely could be a person who's part of your daily routine. If you go to the gym as well, because again, this is a house of health. So if you do anything like that, definitely could be there. It could be at the gym or something like that. The Knight of Cups is also a card of like dreaming of change. It is a good card for health. Like I said, I'm not too worried about that bad health card. If anything, I feel like you're improving your health by finding like a King of Swords, which you have in the next row. We'll talk about that in just a minute. With the Fool card, you have the Companionship card. I also feel like companionship could be like finding a person in love, could be changing your daily routine. I feel for some of you, you're attracting a person who changes your whole life. And you could be like moving with this person very quickly. Again, there's something very quickly happening here with that Knight of Swords. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I'm picking up on a couple things. Like I said, it could be like you're moving with the person like very quickly. Maybe you're moving in very quickly. Something happens fast. But like I said, I think if it works, it works, right? So trust your intuition. With the Knight of Swords, you have this optimism card. I feel like you're very optimistic about the future. This is probably why you're changing things very quickly. Sometimes, again, and it doesn't even have to be love, this Knight of Swords energy. Sometimes I think we just, it's like we just know that something is going to work. We just get the feeling and we just go with it. And that's what I get here. This is more intuitive. This is more, I really feel you're trusting your inner guidance at this time. I mean, look, again, not to beat a dead horse, but you go to that Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is like laser-like focus. It is being very focused. So I really feel that what this is that you're trusting your inner joy. You're trusting your like inner voice, and feels very powerful. I like this. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Control card. This isn't like control as in controlling. This card actually reminds me kind of the World card for obvious reasons. And so I feel there could be an achievement here, but I also feel you could be attracting a person who really is in control of their life. I feel like they've been through a lot. We even have I was going to say this in the next row, because you have the Hermit in the next row, that whoever you're attracting here, I feel like they've been through a lot, or they just have, I feel like they have a lot of experiences, or, maybe they've been through a lot of challenges, but these challenges have made them who they are and made them probably a powerful person. I get more of like a powerful vibe here, not so much like controlling, like you would think, oh, control. I think this person is in control, is what that's trying to say. Next in your 7th house for relationships and marriage and also contracts as well, you have this Go the Distance card and the Come to the Edge card. Number one, I feel like someone will go to the distance for you, but I do feel it's saying, like, go all the way. You could be kind of like meeting a person that's saying, like, push this past the point where you would normally give up. Again, the Come to the Edge card, these two cards are very similar to me. Not the same, but similar. And the Come to the Edge card says you need to push yourself to the point where you'd normally give up. Especially, also I'm getting here that like in work or business, maybe there's a certain level that you always get to, like a certain amount of money that you always make. I feel like you need to do what it takes to like break through that barrier, because I do feel there could be some financial breakthroughs here. And again, part of that, this is the house of relationships. It doesn't have to just be love. Like part of this could be King of Swords, finding a mentor, finding someone who can like coach you or help you break through any financial barriers that you have. I think that would be a great option for a lot of you, and it could really lead to a lot of success. But I do feel this is talking about love quite a bit, and I do feel it's saying that there could be a person here who's like a little bit outside your comfort zone, but not in a bad way. I feel this person is very mature. You have the Ace of Swords, the Hermit, and the King of Swords. I really feel with the Hermit that this person has a lot of wisdom. The Hermit has climbed to the top of a mountain. He's shining his inner light. So this person definitely shines if you're attracting love. They're showing up as a Hermit, so they could be in Hermit mode. Hermit would be Virgo, but I really feel it could be any sign. You have like literally everything here. So it could be any sign that's coming in for you. I feel this person could be a little bit older than you as well, but take it how it resonates. They could just be very mature. But what I think is more important here with the Hermit is that whoever you're attracting, I feel like they've been through a lot. And again, I feel like this gives them a certain level of confidence with that King of Swords, and also like a certain, I feel like they have a certain kind of like life experience thing going on here, and I feel it's a little bit intimidating to you. That's why you have that come to the edge card, because it's like maybe you feel like you're not worthy, or whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is I feel like you're a little bit maybe intimidated by this person, but I wouldn't be. I feel like this person would totally be interested in you. Again, this is them right here, King of Swords, very wise. I feel like they've been through a lot of transformations. I feel like they've been through a lot of stuff. I feel like this person's very simple as well, is what's popping into my head here, Gemini. So if you're attracting new love, I feel like this person is very, like, I feel like they have very, simple needs in relationships. I feel like they'll communicate those needs to you as well. I feel like, again, it's so weird that pretty much everyone, I don't know, I'm wondering if people are just done with the whole relationship thing. Not like done with relationships, but are just like, whatever, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to say what I'm thinking. And I get that energy here, where I feel like this person just blurts out like whatever they're thinking about the relationship. I feel like they just, kind of are a very straightforward communicator. And again, other people have had very similar, not the same, this is a little different, but people have had very similar energies. So I think it's just maybe a sign of the times, kind of like the collective energy as well that we could be dealing with. So I feel like this person just like they kind of like put their expectations out there. I know, everybody in all the spiritual teachers and stuff say no expectations in relationships, which I agree with, by the way, totally agree with it. But let's also face it, we are humans. We have expectations. We have certain expectations in the relationships we get into. So, it is what it is. And I feel like this person is going to be very straightforward with what they expect. You have the Ace of Swords here, so definitely a victory coming in for you. I feel like this is like also could be communication coming in for you in a connection. For some of you, I am getting something about like long distance here as well, and again, that could make sense with the whole moving thing that I was getting earlier. I'm not saying that this person is impatient, but I'm wondering if you're dealing with a person who's done the long distance thing before. So they might say to you like, hey, I'm willing to talk to you, but we need to meet by this time or this date or whatever, because, and if we don't, then I'm calling this off. So very straightforward. Like I said, I feel like this person just has wasted time maybe in the past. It makes sense to me because, I've been saying this since Neptune went into Pisces, that with Neptune and Pisces, we that's what we should be doing if we're going to get into something long distance. We should be saying, if we don't meet by this time, then we're calling it off, because Neptune and Pisces, the fantasy feels too good. The fantasy feels better than the reality, although that's not actually true, but really the danger is getting stuck in the fantasy and not meeting the person or not actually going through with it. So, this person might do that. With the Ace of Swords, you have this detachment card here. I feel like you're cutting out the crap. I feel like you're totally cutting off the past as well. See, what's interesting that I'm getting here is that I feel like you could be meeting a person who totally makes you forget about the past. Here, it could be an Aquarius as well, which kind of is interesting to me. You have multiple Aquarius cards here. So if it's not an Aquarius, I would say it's like someone who has a lot of Aquarius in their chart or something like that. But it could also be, again, we have Pluto going into Aquarius. That could be another clue. It could be during that time. With the Hermit, you have this resourcefulness card. I feel like you're meeting a person who has a lot of resources. They might have like a lot of friends. It could be any type of resource. Could be friends, could be family members, could be financial resources. They could just have mental resources as well, very smart or something like that. With the King of Swords, you have the isolation card. Like I said, this person's in hermit mode right now. I feel like you might meet them while they're in hermit mode, or you might communicate with them and they're in hermit mode. Again, even if you meet this person in public, I know that's not hermit mode. Again, like I said, you might meet this person like in work or in your daily routine, but I feel like they're just kind of in this space of being independent. And, but again, look, this like lady right here, she's like pulling this guy out of hermit mode. So you could be responsible for like making this person leave their comfort zone as well with that come to the edge card. So there you go, Gemini. I like it. At the end here for your 8th house of like other people's money, intimacy, debt, taxes, things like that, you have this silence card. It says moving in silence while you continue to build. Definitely. The 8th house is about mystery as well. So if you're building something new, like a new business, or if you have some ideas for something that you want to do, I would keep those ideas to yourself for sure. You have this leadership card. It says you're stepping into a role as a leader. You are ready. Your career will improve once you accept to step into your power. Definitely time to take the lead in some area of your life. For some of you, I'm wondering if you're doing something on your own, though. Like, if you have a career, you could be doing something on your own. I also have, like, a story popping into my head where, like, maybe you've been doing something for, like, 20 years. You could be, like, starting your own. I have the word agency popping into my head, but take it how it resonates. You could be starting your own business that, like, does the same thing that you've been doing. It's like you're starting your own version of something. I don't know. That's what I'm getting. You have the Page of Swords, Page of Cups, and the Three of Cups here. Definitely new love coming in for you as well. I do feel this person is a little bit mysterious. So that's probably why they're showing up in the 8th house. I feel like I think they like intimacy. Let's put it that way. I have to keep it like G-rated now on YouTube, which is crazy. But, I feel like they're very much into intimacy. Let's put it that way. They don't come off that way, though. They come off as the Page of Swords. You might think they're not, but I don't know. I feel like they'll rock your world, Gemini. Let's put it that way, right? But you might see them as a Page of Swords. I feel like you might see them as, I don't think you have doubts, but maybe you're just, I think you'll be a little bit surprised, right? Let's put it that way as well. I also feel that the Page of Swords is about kind of looking into things that make you curious. And again, the 8th house is about mystery, so I definitely would look into things that make you curious. Again, Page of Cups, I feel, could be you, again, a person who is mysterious, this person coming in for you. The Page of Cups is also about your dreams. He might be imagining that fish that's in that cup there might not actually exist. So it's like about bringing a dream down to earth. And I feel that some of you, you might not know how to bring a dream down to earth. The Page of Swords says learn, figure it out. It says engage in the mystery, and definitely in the 8th house as well. You have the Three of Cups here, so it could be a celebration definitely coming in for you, or some sort of like happiness coming in for you. I also feel that the 8th house is other people's money, and so it can represent money from other people. It could be money going out, but it could also be money coming in. And I would say for you, you could be benefiting from other people with that Three of Cups as far as your money is concerned. It could be raised, promotion. People could be giving you gifts of money. Could be anything. With the Page of Swords here, you have the Influence card. Pretty much every single person has had the Influence card at this time. I think that this is probably your old story, and I think this is what you're detaching from, is people who are easily influenced. I feel maybe you've had a lesson in the recent past with a person who is like influenced by other people away from you. I feel like someone kept you a secret, Gemini, and so, you could be just moving away from that energy, plain and simple. With the Page of Cups, you have the Power card. Didn't I say something about power? Like this person, the King of Swords, has power, something like that. I feel like I said that. So you could be attracting a person like that. Another card of mysteries, though. This is the Moon in Scorpio, this card. So I definitely feel there could be a lot of like mysteries. It kind of makes sense to me. I think we're in a very mysterious time. I always say that, again, Neptune and Pisces, very murky waters. There's a lot of mysteries. There's a lot of lying going on, but there could also be some good mysteries as well. There could be some things to discover, but we have to discover them. That's the thing. It's like we have to go through the depths, right? And luckily, this year, we have Saturn moving into Pisces as well. I think Saturn and Pisces is actually going to be pretty good, because it's like, Saturn in Pisces is actually taking the dream and putting it into the world, actually making it a reality. So I would encourage you to kind of go through mystery, the depths, figure it out. With the Three of Cups, you have this organization card here. I would stay organized in your finances for sure. It's like one of those things where, again, this part of your sky, the 8th house, can represent like taxes and things like that. So make sure if you are dealing taxes, get an accountant, right? Or get someone who at least knows what they're doing. Although I would suggest getting an accountant, right? I would not screw around right now with that type of stuff, plain and simple. And I would also stay organized. I would make sure you're capturing your receipts, make sure you're spending money in the right places, all that other stuff. I wouldn't be paranoid about it. I would just, just pay attention so that there isn't an issue in the future, plain and simple. This looks pretty good though, Gemini. We're going to pull 5 themes now. And I'm going to see if there's anything I missed for you in this area of your sky. You have this basket card that says recognition, reward for merit. I think that there is a lot of recognition coming in for you. I think there's recognition available for everyone. As I always say, we're entering to this time of Aquarius. Pluto will be moving into Aquarius. That's like the first big thing. And it will be happening in March. It's going to retrograde out pretty quickly, but it doesn't matter. Pluto does not move very quickly. So it's going to be kind of like on the cusp until 2024 of Aquarius and Capricorn kind of. And then it's going to officially move back into Aquarius in 2024, but I would say we're in the energy now. So, I feel there's a lot of attention. Aquarius is a star card, which is attention, and I would just be doing things to get positive attention. You have this pin card that says new job or career. We saw this, some sort of career change. Definitely feel it would be good for you. I'm also getting, especially if it's with other people, like if you're teaming up with another person or starting a business with another person, this could be very good. You have this crown card that says honor and respect will come to you. I do feel like you're gaining a lot of respect, especially for those of you that have been trying to become an expert at something. I'm getting like with that King of Swords. Then if you've been trying to get like a certification, becoming an expert in some area of your life, you could definitely be gaining respect through that. You have the bird flying card. It says news is on the way. If you're dealing with something long distance, or if you are, again, maybe you don't know yet because this might be happening in 2023, there could be communication coming in for you from a distance. You could be communicating with a person from a distance as well, and I feel it'll go well. And finally, you have this sunrise card. It says new creative ideas, new ventures, new start. I mean, I would definitely embrace those new creative ideas, especially with the Ace of Wands here. I feel there's a lot of success in doing creative stuff. But this looks pretty good here, Gemini, so thank you for being here, Gemini. I really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and also Part 3 will be out soon.